Peppa is playing in the garden with George. George, let's play hide and seek. I'll be the seeker. Peppa closes her eyes and counts. 1, 2, 3, 10. Ready or not, here I come. Peppa looks for George, but hears a strange whisper. Peppa, come here. Peppa goes to the old barn. George, are you there? Inside the barn, it's dark. Hello, Peppa. I'm your new friend. The figure looks like Peppa, but with empty eyes. Do you want to play with me forever? Peppa steps back. Who are you? Where's George? The double smiles eerily. George is already playing with us. Now it's your turn. Peppa runs away, but the garden has turned dark. Mummy, Daddy, help me. The house looks abandoned. What's happening? Where is everyone? Peppa enters the house. Mummy, Daddy, George. The parents sit motionless. Mummy, why aren't you answering? Mummy slowly turns with empty eyes. Peppa, join us. Daddy also turns around. We've been waiting for you, Peppa. George appears with empty eyes. Dinosaur. Forever. Peppa realizes the trap. No, these aren't my parents. This isn't my brother. Everyone stands up and walks toward Peppa. Stay with us, Peppa. Forever. Peppa runs to the exit, but the door is locked. Let me go. I want to go home. The double appears at the door. You're already home. This is your new family. Peppa closes her eyes and screams. This is a dream. This must be a dream. Silence. Peppa opens her eyes in her bed. It was a nightmare? Peppa goes to the window. In the garden stands the double waving. Soon, Peppa, very soon. Peppa was an ordinary girl. She played, laughed, and threw tantrums. But everything changed when she discovered perfect pictures. In social media, everything seemed beautiful. Perfect families, homes, smiles. Peppa noticed she wasn't like those girls online. Her dress wasn't as pretty. Her smile wasn't as white. Her first attempts at perfect photos failed. Peppa couldn't understand why she couldn't make it work. She became distant. The real world seemed gray compared to bright pictures. Childish games no longer interested Peppa. She considered herself too grown up. Hours in front of mirrors became ritual. Peppa searched for flaws she'd never noticed before. Her best friend became an obstacle. Peppa was busy creating the perfect image. Family moments turned into photo sessions. Genuine happiness disappeared, leaving only performance. Every imperfect photo became tragedy. Peppa lost her ability to enjoy simple things. Food became the enemy. She refused favorite meals, striving for impossible ideals. Nights became sleepless. The endless feed of perfect lives gave no peace. Fatigue became constant, but Peppa pretended happiness for cameras. Her brother became obstacle for content. Family bonds broke under pressure of false standards. Parents watched their daughter transform into a stranger. Accidentally finding old photos, Peppa saw herself truly imperfect but alive. For the first time in ages, she looked away from screens at the real world. The first step toward recovery was hardest, but George still waited for his sister. Playing with her brother reminded Peppa what real happiness felt like, without filters. Family dinner became conversation again, not photo opportunity. The path to healing proved long. Peppa learned to accept herself truly, but how many children will lose themselves chasing others' standards? It was a beautiful afternoon in Peppa's garden, but something wasn't quite right. That's strange. I'm sure I left my teddy over there. The toys seemed to move when she wasn't looking. "Hello? Is someone there?" But the garden had fallen silent, too silent. Where did everything go? Inside the house, darkness crept through every room. "Mummy? Daddy? Where is everyone?" Her voice echoed through empty halls. "Mummy, please answer me." Then she heard it, sounds from below. What is that noise?" Against her better judgment, Peppa descended into the basement. "Hello? Is anyone down here?" What she found chilled her to the bone. Our family photos, but where are all the faces? Every face had been mysteriously erased. This can't be real. This can't be happening. Then George appeared, but he wasn't himself. "Peppa, why did you leave us?" "George, what's wrong with your voice?" His eyes glowed with an otherworldly light. "You're not my brother. You're not George." Peppa ran as fast as her little legs could carry her. "I have to get out of here." She fled to her best friend's house, desperate for help. "Susie will know what to do. She has to be there." But Susie's house stood empty and cold. No, not Susie too. On the wall, a message written in chalk. They all disappeared. What does this mean? With nowhere else to turn, Peppa returned home. Maybe they came back. Maybe they're waiting for me. Her parents sat at the dinner table, motionless as statues. "Mummy, Daddy, you're here!" But they didn't respond. They couldn't respond. Please wake up. Peppa realized the horrible truth. She was completely alone. Everyone's gone. I'm all by myself in this shadow world. Even her own reflection had turned against her. "Why are you smiling?" "I'm crying." "Everything's fine, Peppa." The mirror showed a truth she couldn't accept. This isn't real. This can't be real. Suddenly, Peppa jolted awake in her own bed. It was just a dream. Just a terrible, terrible dream. Relief washed over her like warm sunshine. Thank goodness it was only a nightmare. But on her pillow lay a faded photograph with no faces. No, it can't be. The family was relaxing in the living room when suddenly they noticed a strange computer they had never seen before. George was the first to approach the computer. On the screen appeared a strange face with bright blue eyes. "Hello, I am Mr. Fun Computer," said a voice from the speakers. "Would you like to play?" Without hesitation, George pressed a bright button. The computer began to glow brighter and brighter, filling the room with blue light. Suddenly, they were pulled into the screen. They spun in a whirl of digital particles and codes. They found themselves in a strange world filled with neon lines and geometric shapes. It was the digital world of Sprunky Incredibox. A strange pink creature with big eyes and a bow tie approached them. "I am Pinky. You entered our world through the Mr. Fun Computer portal. This is dangerous." Suddenly, a robot named Funbot appeared. He created a digital wall that separated the parents from Peppa and George. Pinky led Peppa and George through a strange digital forest. "Mr. Fun Computer is taking visitors from the real world to make them part of his collection," she explained. They didn't notice a mysterious character named Black watching them from the shadows. His eyes glowed in the darkness, following every move they made. At an intersection of digital paths, they met a gray character named Polo. "I saw where your parents were taken," he said apathetically. "They are in Mr. Fun Computer's tower." Soon they saw a huge computer tower. Images of Peppa's parents being held inside digital capsules flickered on the screen. Inside the tower, they met a purple pixelated character named Derple. "Hurry, I can lead you to the laboratory, but we have little time." In the laboratory, they saw their parents in capsules under Funbot's supervision. "He's turning them into digital copies," exclaimed Pinky. A huge face of Mr. Fun Computer appeared on the main screen. "You will all become part of my collection forever," his voice boomed throughout the laboratory. At that moment, Wenda, the portal guardian, appeared. She created a protective barrier around the children. "I can open a portal home, but we must act quickly." Peppa and George, with Pinky and Derple's help, freed their parents from the capsules while Wenda held back Mr. Fun Computer with her magic.
"Run to the portal," Wenda shouted, creating a bright passage. The Peppa Pig family rushed toward it, pursued by an enraged Funbot. They returned home safely. Everything seemed normal again, but on the table remained a small toy resembling Pinky. And on the TV screen, for a moment, Mr. Fun Computer's face flickered. Maybe this wasn't their last adventure in the digital world.
On a sunny day, the Pig family house looks peaceful and calm. Peppa and George are playing happily in the garden with toys. Mummy Pig sits in the living room reading a strange family brochure. A mysterious Dr. Wolf approaches the house, carrying a briefcase. The whole family gathers in the living room to listen carefully. The doctor shows the family various charts and scientific graphs. George no longer plays and sits quietly alone in his room. The little boy now has an empty and distant look in eyes. Mummy cooks food in the kitchen, strictly following new schedule. Daddy Pig throws his beloved playing cards into the trash bin. Peppa sits alone in her room, looking very worried and concerned. Susie Sheep comes to visit her very best friend at home. The family eats dinner at the table in complete eerie silence. Dr. Wolf smugly writes something down in his notebook with satisfaction. Peppa desperately tries to talk to her parents at home. The parents look at their daughter with empty, emotionless zombie eyes. Peppa discovers suspicious documents and brochures from Dr. Wolf hidden. The girls plan together how to stop the evil Dr. Wolf. Peppa bravely confronts Dr. Wolf in their family home. Courageously, Dr. Wolf reveals his true and terrifying face to everyone. The entire family surrounds Peppa with empty zombie-like staring eyes. Frightened Peppa tries to run away from her family desperately. The house becomes gray and lifeless like in a nightmare dream. Peppa sits with the same empty stare as all others. Dr. Wolf leaves behind the perfect dead family he created. Peppa wakes up in her room. Good morning. What a beautiful day. The family has breakfast at the table. Good morning, George. How did you sleep, little one? Children play in the living room. George, let's play with your dinosaur. At breakfast, George stays silent and stares into space. George, can you hear me, dear? Daddy reads the newspaper, not noticing problems. Interesting news today. Mummy tries to get George's attention. George, say something. Mummy is worried. Peppa plays alone in her room. Where is George? Why doesn't he want to play? George sits motionless in the corner. Silence, only silence. Mummy looks at George with concern. What's happening to him? He's completely changed. At dinner, George doesn't touch his food. George, eat something, you need your strength. Peppa tries to cheer up the family. Remember how we laughed yesterday? Nobody laughs. George sits with a full plate. I'm not hungry at all. At night, Peppa hears strange sounds. What are those sounds? George, is that you? George stands by the window with his back to Peppa. There, so quiet, so peaceful. Peppa enters her brother's room. George, what are you doing? Talk to me. George slowly turns to his sister. I'm tired, very tired of everything. George looks with empty eyes. I don't want to play anymore. Never again. In the morning, parents find a note. I went where it's quiet. Where is our boy? Peppa looks out the window at the yard. George, where are you? Come home. Peppa sits alone at the table. So quiet. Too quiet without George. Parents whisper to each other. We should have noticed. We should have helped. The empty chair reminds of George. His place will always be his place. The dinosaur lies forgotten in the grass. Even toys miss him. Everyone misses George. Good morning, sunshine. Peppa wakes up in her cozy room. The whole family gathered for breakfast. What a beautiful day for a walk. We are so happy to be together. Our family is the most friendly in the world. Children are playing happily in the park. Susie, let's play hide and seek. Who is this strange man behind the trees? He's watching us and smiling. Hello, children. My name is Mr. Smile. Do you want to play a special game? Just look at me and smile. This is a very simple and fun game. Susie, are you okay? Why are you looking so strange and not answering? Something is wrong with my best friend. Susie is acting like a robot. George sits and stares at one point. George, let's go play with toys. George, what's happening to you? Why can't you hear me? I don't want to play anymore. I'll just sit and smile like everyone else. Mom and Dad are cooking dinner mechanically. Their movements have become so strange and identical. My whole family behaves the same way. They move like marionettes with frozen smiles. Their faces are empty and their eyes are lifeless. They are no longer my relatives. Help me. I'm the only one who stayed normal in this house. Mom, Dad, come back to me. I'm your daughter. Don't you recognize me? They hang on invisible strings. Someone controls my family like dolls. Mr. Smile came for me too. Peppa, you're the last one. Join us. No, I don't want to. Leave me alone. I won't be like them. I understand that I cannot resist. He's too strong and I'm all alone. The next morning, everyone sits at the table. Good morning. We are all very happy. I smile like everyone else, but inside, I'm screaming in horror. Now we are all the same and happy. But only I remember who we used to be. Morning at Peppa Pig's house. Sunlight filters through the curtains, illuminating the breakfast table. Daddy Pig sets down his newspaper with uncharacteristic gravity, his voice trembling slightly. Children, today we're visiting the Squid family. They have a special game. Be careful, the journey. Clouds suddenly swallow the sun as they approach a grim mansion with rusted iron gates. A creaking sign reads, "Welcome to the game." Inside, sterile white walls reeking of antiseptic. A guard wearing a mask with a painted circle silently gestures toward a table of geometrically perfect cookies. First trial. A disembodied voice announces, "Carve the shape. Mistakes will be eliminated." Susie Sheep's hands shake as she attempts a star. The cookie crumbles. A trapdoor yawns open beneath her. Her scream echoes hauntingly. Little George, misunderstanding, plays with his circle cookie until it snaps. The trapdoor activates instantly. Peppa only manages to grab his toy dinosaur as he disappears. Transition. Peppa is led to a flickering monitor room. Her parents sit catatonic, chanting, "Rules are important." The screen shows a distorted version of their familiar playground. A gigantic Peppa doll moves with mechanical jerks, beginning to sing. Pedro Pony takes one step. The doll's head spins 180 degrees. Crimson eyes flare. A gunshot-like crack climax. Alone in the ticking silence, Peppa clutches George's dinosaur, its surface still bearing his fingerprints. The window reveals only endless gray void. A trembling hand turns the doorknob. Darkness. Then, children's laughter warping into mechanical static. The doll's voice, "Peppa, your turn."